And Kartik is very, very important. It is very important for Gaudiya Vaishnavas because this month of Kartik is dedicated to Srimati Radharani herself. And to understand really what Kartik truly means, then we should know what our prayojan is, what the goal of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is. And if we understand the goal of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, then we'll understand how Kartik is so significant in our sampradaya and why all the previous acharyas have glorified Kartik Maas. This month is very important. It is also known as Urja Vrata. The vow of following Kartik Maas is known as Urja Vrata. And Urja means Shakti. It means power. It means energy. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita which says, Kali Kaler Dharma Nama Krishna Nama Sankirtan Krishna Shakti Vine Naye Tara Pravartan, which means if one desires to spread the holy name far and wide, it is not possible without Krishna Shakti. Without Krishna Shakti, we cannot spread the movement far and wide. Our ISKCON movement is a preaching movement. And to preach, we need Krishna Shakti. And Krishna Shakti is none other than Radharani herself. So this performance of Kartik Vrata, if we want it to be completely successful, then it should be done in a mood of Paradukha Dukhi. If we are not spiritually fit ourselves, then how are we going to be able to save others? This preaching movement is designed, Prabhupada has said in one place, that our movement, the purpose of our movement is to make the whole world happy. So this Kartik Maas, this is specifically for devotees to come to Vrindavan Dham, to qualify themselves, to get Krishna Shakti, because this is Radharani's month. Radharani is Shakti. And if we get the mercy of Radharani, then we will be able to spread Harinam far and wide. So we come to Vrindavan, or at least mentally stay in Vrindavan Dham during the month of Kartik, and really try to focus and refocus, cut out all unnecessary things, unnecessary eating, unnecessary sleeping, unnecessary talking, so that we have enough Shakti to spread the movement far and wide. Radharani is also known as the original Stri Shakti. Stri means to expand. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. And in our process of Krishna consciousness, we're trying to attract the attention of Krishna. But to attract the attention of Krishna is not such an easy task. It is very difficult because he's the supreme enjoyer. But Radharani is the supreme facilitator. She facilitates his enjoyment and she expands. She expands in the sense that she gets more and more jivas, more and more personalities to serve Krishna. Actually, our Sankirtan movement has started from this very mood. So this month, because it belongs to Radharani, to understand this month, we should understand what Radharani's mood is. And without understanding Radharani's mood, it'll be very difficult to worship her. So we're trying our level best to worship her, not just this month. Actually, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we're supposed to worship her constantly. Those who worship Vishnu are known as Vaishnavas. Those who worship Krishna are known as Karshnas. And those who worship Radharani are known as Gaudiyas. So us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, actually for the pure devotee, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. Every time of the year is auspicious, especially in Vrindavan. There is no time in the spiritual world. So there is no such thing as an auspicious time. But in the conditioned state, we need these external means of help. We need these festivals, Janmashtami and Radhashtami. For a pure devotee, it's Janmashtami every day. Every single day is like Janmashtami and Radhashtami. Every single day, if they chant Shuddhanam, then Krishna takes birth on their tongue. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that the tongues of the pure devotees, they are non-different to Mother Sachi or Mother Yashoda. Because when they chant, Krishna takes birth from their tongues. So the idea is they're always in bliss, completely absorbed. But unfortunately, in the conditioned state, we need some extra help. So these months like Chaturmasya, Magh Maas, and Vaishakh Maas, and Purushottam Maas, they are very, very beneficial, especially in the conditioned state. And all these months are very beneficial, but out of all of these months, there's only one month, which is Kartik Maas, which is directly associated as an anga of bhakti. There are 64 angas of bhakti, and one of the main primary angas, just before the last Panchanga Bhakti, number 58, is to observe Kartik Vrata. Other months that are very auspicious, they can be followed also, but following them is a secondary anga of bhakti. Like Chaturmasya is a secondary anga of bhakti, but Kartik Maas is a direct anga of bhakti, as described by Rupa Goswami, as described in the Nectar of Devotion. And Prabhupada in the Nectar of Devotion, he says, even unserious persons, if they simply perform a little bit of devotional service during this month of Kartik, they can immediately become qualified for the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what Prabhupada says. Unserious persons. So this is a very, very special time. It must be taken advantage of. Krishna is very compassionate during this month because it's Radharani's month. And Prabhupada has explained in the Nectar of Devotion that Radharani is the compassionate nature of Krishna. So because this month, actually there's no difference between Radha and Krishna. They're both the same person. Sachisuta, Mahaprabhu, same person. But when you address Radharani, then you're addressing Krishna's compassionate nature. And actually in that section of Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada has said that devotees, especially in Vrindavan, always approach Srimati Radharani. Because by approaching Radharani, then Krishna's compassionate nature is activated, so to speak. So that is why this month of Kartik is the most important for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. It is very dear to us, and it is directly related to preaching the movement. We need to be fit and strong. We need to get enough Shakti so that we can preach Krishna consciousness. But preach what? We're trying to preach pure devotional service. We're trying to preach Krishna consciousness, what it really is. And Krishna consciousness is not directly serving Krishna. It is serving Krishna through his energies, serving Krishna through his sampradaya. And speaking of sampradaya, our whole sampradaya has emphasized Kartik as it's come. All the acharyas, Jiva Goswami has described how in Kartik Maas, just as a magnanimous person, if someone is very magnanimous, and if someone is having a huge debt to such a magnanimous person, if this person simply pays him a little bit, he will be satisfied and he will clear him of his debts. So Jiva Goswami says, just like this, Kartik Maas is like you can finish all your debts very, very quickly. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to hold parikrams every Kartik. He would hold parikrams and he emphasized, he would come to Vrindavan, he gave lectures in Radhakund, he gave lectures in Vrindavan, in Lala Babu Mandir over here. He gave one lecture there during Kartik. And our Srila Prabhupada in 1972, he specifically put a hold on all of his activities of spreading the movement all over the world. And he said, I want to go to Vrindavan and I want to give classes for the whole of Kartik, morning Srimad Bhagavatam classes and evening Nectar of Devotion classes. And he said, I want to give these classes in English for the benefit of the devotees. So from these activities of our acharyas, we can understand that Kartik is very important to try and absorb yourself in what the mood of the movement is, what the mood of our sampradaya is, and what we're really trying to do here. What we're trying to do here is spread Harinam all over the world. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he will only be happy and satisfied when the whole 14 planetary systems are chanting Hare Krishna. So this is what we're trying to do. And Kartik is a very good time to gain that Shakti, Bhakti Shakti, so that we can live for the benefit of others. One may perform Kartik Vrata for your own personal upliftment. That is also okay, no problem. Someone's trying to get Krita Punya Punya just to associate with Krishna. That desire is also pure. But if you have the mood of Paradukha Dukhi, you have to try and understand, if one jiva is performing tapasya and austerities to try and go back home, back to Godhead, then Krishna may be very happy with one jiva. But Krishna wants it all. So if there's one jiva who's not just trying to get back to Krishna, but he's trying to get as many, collect them together. That is Sankirtan, collecting many people together and taking them all back to Krishna. Then actually Radharani is attracted to this because she's expanding the Sankirtan movement. She's making more and more varieties for Krishna's enjoyment. And because Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Prabhupada has said many times in Srimad Bhagavatam that variety is the mother of all enjoyment. So Radharani can offer the mother of all enjoyment to Krishna if we have the mood of paradukha dukhi, of spreading the movement, of spreading the Sankirtan movement. This is Lord Chaitanya's mission. This is our Sampradaya's mission. So all of our japas and our tapas, just like Narottam Das Thakur has said, say Vrata, say tapa, say mora mantra japa, all of my vratas, all of my tapasya, all of my chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, this is simply to satisfy Rupa Goswami. This is simply to satisfy our Sampradaya. Because through this Sampradaya, it will go to Radharani. So serving of the Sampradaya, understanding the mood of the spiritual masters, this is Kartik Vrata. We can do many things. We can offer lamps to the deities. We can rise early in the morning, come for Mangalarati, chant all of our rounds early, as much as we can. We can chant Damodar Ashtakam prayers every day. We can increase our activities of Panchanga Bhakti. We can read more Srimad Bhagavatam. We can worship the deities. We can stay in the dham. We can associate with devotees, and most importantly perform Harinam Sankirtan. These things we can increase, but unless and until we don't understand why we're doing these things, what the intent of it is, why Kartik Vrata is performed, then the fruits of it will not be as beneficial. We need Sambandha Tattva Gyan, and then with Sambandha, when we perform these vratas, then they will be beneficial, and then they will be actually, going somewhere.